Hi guys, my name is Ivo and today I want to talk about the book Simply Rich by Rich DeVos. First of all, I want to share some insights. Rich DeVos was born on March 4th, 1926 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. His father's name was Simon and his mother's was Ethel. He had two sisters growing up. He grew up during the Great Depression, quite a difficult time to grow up during. And his home city was most famous for manufacturing home furnishing, so not that sophisticated. His family is of Dutch descent and is guided from a strong Protestant Christian faith. And one of the most important Dutch traits, according to his opinion, is that of an entrepreneurial spirit. So everyone is striving to be successful and have a great business. Now, a bit about his upbringing. From all the odd jobs he did, he explains that he learned the value and reward of work, as for example working as a paperboy, which helped him pay for his school tuition, so he paid for his own school. He saw himself surrounded by people of persistence and hope, people striving to be successful. He saw himself encouraged by a supportive teacher and many others. He saw himself as a cheerleader and he played an enthusiastic role that he continues to play today. His first formal business arrangement was with Jay Van Andel, the co-founder of Amway, who later on became his lifelong friend and business partner. So the business arrangement was Rich wanted to catch rides from home to school, and he found that Jay was driving his own car back then. So he paid him 25 cents a week to help pay for gas. Jay was always reserved and serious. He was the exact opposite to Rich, who was outgoing, had an outgoing character, and wasn't a serious student. Now, let's talk about the experience. It's Nutrilite, the first serious accomplishment with Nutrilite. So Dr. Karl Renborg started a company known as Nutrilite. He conducted studies on the impact of diets on the health of various Chinese populations. So he saw like rural Chinese people ate more vegetables and drank more milk, living in their farms, and those people were healthier than city dwellers. In 1935, he quit his day job and focused solely on developing a plant-based nutritional supplement. Now, Nutrilite has one little secret, and that was that they had their own new marketing plan that was the forerunner of what today we call multi-level marketing system. A relative of Jay's introduced the Nutrilite product and business plan to him in 1949. And after that, both Jay and Rich decided to give it a go, and they started selling Double X supplements. We all know them. After some time, they decided to invest all their energy and time into Nutrilite. In 1953, Rich married Helen van Bessep. Both Jay and Rich didn't expect their businesses to keep expanding and expanding even more, because they thought that their first office building would be their last. An important lesson is sometimes you just don't know how or where seeds planted, even a small meeting might one day bear fruit. So what he means by that is talk about the business with a lot of people, and it's not always going to work, it's going to work sometime. But we as distributors cannot know which person is going to click and become your next business partner, for example. Now, the second important lesson I found in the book was on a meeting in a city in the US, where Rich was asked to talk about why people should do it. So why should they distribute Nutrilite products? Why they should be working so hard to build these businesses on their own, and why it's important to them and to their country. They told him don't talk about the business, don't talk about the products, just talk about freedom and free enterprise. So Rich discovered he had a motivational power which he could use to just help people discover their own strengths. Third lesson. We just make sure personal spending doesn't become a priority over the giving side. So Rich talks about money. He says we just make sure personal spending doesn't become a priority over the giving side. Once you learn the budgeting process of setting aside for giving first, then what you have left you can allocate elsewhere, including a home or an airplane or a boat. But if you have a love affair with money, then maybe you shouldn't have wealth at all. So money isn't something he loves, it isn't something he lives for and he works for. It's just something that comes at a high success rate. So when you're successful, money will naturally come. That's what he's trying to say. Now, the fourth lesson is it doesn't matter how good an idea is if you can't get support for it from others. I've learned that oftentimes all it takes to get people moving towards a goal is for someone to show interest and offer help. Something very interesting for me was the patriotism of Rich. He tells us that most Americans today were not alive when we fought against dictators who threatened our way of life. Perhaps those threats no longer seem real or immediate to today's citizens, but we who were alive then know better. There is still evil in the world. The amazement of Rich is phrases such as could never have dreamed or beyond our wildest imagination cannot begin to describe where things stood just 50 years ago and how this phenomenon was just exploded. I'm proud that Jay and I from the beginning focused our efforts on helping people and giving them the opportunity. That continues to be the secret of Amway's international success today. So he just tells us once more, it all starts in your head. So if you believe something is possible and you believe hard enough and just put in the effort, put in the time, it will naturally come. That's all. Now the sixth and final lesson was so much of my success in life depended on keeping promises. And promises only can be made and kept from a foundation of truths that guide our lives and cannot be shaken by changing circumstances. As the old saying goes, what is popular is not always right, and what is right is not always popular. I've tried to do what is right regardless of critics, changing lifestyles, the party in power, or those whose views or influences might hold sway in society at any given time. Opinions, trends, and fads come and go. So you have to create your own system of beliefs. It is not something you should depend on. So if people say, oh, being a distributor for Amway is something very lame, something boring, something stupid, then often, like most of the times, people are just, they're gonna give up. So it's not, they do not believe in themselves enough in order to keep growing and keep doing what they love. And what he tells us is just believe in your own self, believe in your dreams, and just let it happen. And the slogan I liked was be a life enricher and you can do it. So two stuff. First of all, be a life enricher means do not think, it's like a different mindset. Let's just say I tell you, instead of thinking what can I get out of this person, out of this situation, you tell yourself how can I make his day even more amazing than it already is? How can I create something? How can I give something so interesting that it helps this person enjoy his or her day even more. And in every other situation, life enrichment is something I truly believe in and try to do all the time. And you can do it is like very simple but straight to the point. If you believe, like the whole background story is for me is like most more important. You can do it just means believe in yourself, believe that things you have set aside as goals can be achieved by putting hours upon hours of hard work and dedication. That is all. Thank you for watching, and until next time.
Cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart.